coming up next. We'll be getting out on track, and it's going to be with the 2K Cup. And joining us, we have James Watson, who's been out on track, been checking out all the action in the Sangyon Action Racing Utes, and coordinating this particular Let's Get Out There, Get Some Need for Speed motor racing series. What's the story about the 2K Cup?
Oh, a lot of these guys, it's their first foray into motorsport, so it's about getting people involved, like a lot of classes, but the difference for us is the price of the car, being around that $2,000 market. Now that the series gone for 5 years, the market has changed, so we've got some cars have appreciated, some have depreciated and joined us in recent years, but yeah, it's around that $2,000 mark. How
many years have these guys been racing?
Some of these guys, it's their 6th season with us. So we're starting to become one of the series that's been around a while. Nothing on like Honda Cup and those sort of classes that have an edge on us, but we plan to stick around. And our rules allow for cars to change over the years because it's based on price rather than models as such. We're going about to start. We're off the line now. Stephen Gaskell, and he might be bogged. He's just put a new gearbox in for this race, so we'll see how he takes that first corner.
So there they go, the 2K Cup, 33 minutes. Let's see if it actually works. I want to elaborate on ease into it and then get some rhythm, because we're almost 3 or 4 wide coming out of turn 1, sliding down into 2. Now they get single file.
Oh, there goes Gaskell.
Oh, already coming spinner onto the grass. And then a lot of other cars can't see where they're going because that plume of dust drifting across. We talked about that crosswind, and it blinded some of the other drivers, but it looks like he's back out on track.
Yeah, he'll be one to watch for the rest of the race. He's definitely got the pace when the car's willing to give it to him.
So 33 minutes. It's interesting when you see you're going to ease into it. How many times do you say that in motor? And I love your expression about your desire when you go racing. Tell us what it is. What's your goal?
Oh, for the Sanyong series, finishing with a clean car is a win for me.
So you like to race without getting a dent. Didn't your car come pre-dented?
Yeah, it came like a golf ball. So we'll stop it there.
And you've managed to sort of keep it, taking some of those ripples out?
Yeah, definitely.
The pre-race ripples?
Hammered them out. We've got Warren Crowther trying to go up the inside there, but he doesn't quite hit the pace.
So this is great. So we've got a whole variety of different types of cars.
Yeah.
And then they all look the same, though, don't they?
Yeah, this is quite unique. This view here, we've got a whole lot of Levins. Normally we'd have a few more Integras mixed in, so the track's definitely favouring the Levins early on.
So we've got the old Toyota Levins. Here, a whole stack of guys, so all getting their need for speed, diving down into the complex, down around turn 14, onto the main straight. Great way to go motor racing.
Yeah, we've got the two pack and save cars there. Oh, Stephen Gaskell's pulled off, so he's maybe that new gearbox that he put in didn't quite go right for him, but it's a real shame. He spent all night getting that sorted for today.
One of them's overcooked the corner, going into turn 1. He's opened up the door. That's 19. Can he get the comeback? He's going to have to live around the outside, and he's opened themselves up for being under attack through 3 and into 4 and 5. So they've eased their way into the opening lap, and now they're starting to squeeze their way into the second lap.
And Shane Geddes is doing well. He started in 10th place, and he's up to 4th now. But the pack and save car's keeping him honest there.
So at 61, Carl Gaines, he's made the big gain. 2 or 3 wide around turn 7. Can they live there? Stay there without getting onto the grass. And now they're going to sweep around 8 into 9, and that's where they've got to keep it in the white lines. Don't go wide, don't go onto the grass, don't get dirty, because that's when it could cause a lot of problems. They're doing a great job there. That's good driving. Now they get the flow into turn 10, and then around to that big hairpin at the top of the circuit, turn 11. And great chances, different ways to get in and around this corner, isn't it?
Yeah, when you're watching the Levins, they're definitely the car to have under brakes, whereas that MR2 driven by Shane Geddes has got the exit speed, so he'll be trying to propel himself up onto the straight here as they go down.
So how do you enter the 2K Cup, if you can? Someone sitting here in the grandstand watching, well, might be a great way to go get them. Like the great story in one of the other classes, the Beamers, there's a volunteer. He's been doing volunteer work for 13 years. He's decided to go racing. Third third meeting, first time this meeting. So if there's a volunteer out there who's doing a great job, say, well, I might go out there and give it a crack myself. So how do you do it?
Oh, you just search for us on Google because we're such a unique name, or just our Facebook page, and you can find all the details there. We've got a lot of guys who are helping out someone new to the sport, so we spread the load. There's not one person to go to. We've got a whole lot you can talk to.
Well, it's pretty amazing here that Carl Gaines, after watching Warren Crowther overcook the braking going into turn one, he's done exactly the same move, and he's opened himself up, and now it's Mr. Shane Geddes, I think. He's grabbed the lead, and Carl's under pressure from Warren.
Yeah, Shane's pretty much in a class of his own with this car. This car really hooks up out of these corners. So he may get a run on the rest of the pack, but there's definitely a big pack of Levins there. Probably the first time we've seen so many Levins at the front with the lack of Integras. The Integra's pretty much the all-rounder in this class. It's good at all tracks. So normally we'd see a few more up, but
and most of these cars are bought off Trade Me and stuff like that, or go along to your local car dealer, or what?
Yeah, Trade Me's your sort of premium second-hand. Facebook Marketplace is where you get stuff really cheap. I don't know how legitimate it is, but they will come with legitimate tags and whatnot, or plates. So the Facebook Marketplace is where you find a lot of people just wanting to get rid of a car, and there's no fees, so maybe that's why they're willing to price it lower. I don't know, but that seems to be the place. You can find Levins for around $1,500, Integras for about $1,500.
Great scrap down the main straight. Great strap. There are 2 or 3 wide. And Angus Howden's made a big move here. A little bit wobbly coming through the complex. But he's managed to pick up 2 or 3 spots. And I think he's grabbed second spot. So it's changing all the time. 3-4-3. 48. Angus Howden. They're showing him. There's the fastest lap. A 1:52.5. But it's still Shane Geddes who's out in front.
Yeah, so the Pack and Safe guys in third and fourth were doing Lemons racing before they decided to join the 2K Cup. So Lemons is a feeder class for us as well.
The 2K Cup? What was that?
The Lemons series. Some of these guys have they've gone and do the Lemons 24-hour or whatever race, and they've decided they want to do a bit more racing, so they come and join us.
You've got to change the cursor on the top right where it's got a circle to the Good racing here, good racing.
Oh, big lock up in the rears.
Braking though.
From both of them.
These guys have been swapping positions like they've been swapping paint at the moment. Yeah, but they have, there's, not too much rubbing so far. So from your little ideal of going motor racing, going without too many dents, notice them really taking the inside line and holding that all the way down the main straight.
Yeah, some good racecraft on show between these guys. Not willing to give an inch, but they're playing hard and fair, so it's good to see. Oh, and he's getting right out of shape through that second last corner.
So it's still number 343, Shane Geddes. He's out in front from Angus Howden, number 48. And then it's 61, Carl Gaines, Lance Gerlich.
Here's Graham Ball goes down the inside of one, trying to make that pass. I would have thought he'd be a little bit further up. Graham's someone who's racing in a few different classes.
BMW as well, so getting lots and lots of seat time, so he'll really get right into the rhythm of what he's doing. You see Mark Mallard, number 8 there, also doing the 2K Cup. And
Sanyong
as well, so he's dialed up, hooked up.
He's looking up the inside, but he couldn't quite get there.
So it's Geddes, Howden, Gaines, Gerlich, Mallard, Crowther, Dave Rooney, who started on pole and went backwards, but Shane Geddes is certainly going well.
Yeah, Angus Howden's really doing well, keeping on the back of Geddes there. He's someone relatively new to the series. Some have been around 5 years or 6 years, but he's only been around this last year. So.
Here they are, 2 wide going into turn 9. That's big and bold stuff. And they gave each other a bit of room. One of them backed off, and that was smart. Now they're 2 wide going into 10, which is great. That's easily done.
It looks 3
Almost
wide.
3 wide. Going into turn 11, right at the top of the track. Around the big wide hairpin. And as many lines as you want. There's a couple there, and they all sort of follow the same line there. One of them trying to duck down the inside. I tell you what, there's a couple of good scraps going on here between 19 and 61.
Yes, Mark swerves right. He's looking, showing in the guy's mirrors, I'm here. Will he dive around the outside?
Mark Mallard right in there as well. And there's a big challenge for the lead happening too. So a couple of great battle pairs. Look at them hard on the brakes, leaning on it, lighting the car up and trying to letting it drift over into the ripples. So Geddes is still out there, but Howden's getting closer. 61B, Carl Gaines. He's under pressure from Mark Mallard and then Warren Crowther. Dave Rooney sort of hanging in there. So great battle developing for the lead. As Geddes goes through 3, followed by 48, which is Angus Howden. 61 Gaines. Mallard, he's muscled his way into that 3-way scrap for a place on the podium. Then there's a nice little battle between another 3 or 4 cars, isn't there?
Yeah.
Developing. Great battle packs.
It is actually interesting with Mallard. He's trying out a new tyre, a Bridgestone tyre this weekend. So our thing is 200 tread wear. So you are going to have manufacturers release new products, and Bridgestone's come out with one. But the baseline for the series is everyone generally runs a Dunlop tyre. And then there's also some other options, but the Dunlop's been the one to have. But it's possibly why we're seeing some different characteristics out of Mark's car. It looks to be possibly holding a bit more mid-corner, but also scrubbing a bit at the same time.
I see there's an old Tezza in the field, further back down the field, but these Levins, gee, they're having a great little wee scrap.
Yeah,
They've been tracking each other all around the place. Whoa! Locking up the brakes going into 10.
I'll be surprised if he has any rear tyre left at the end of this race, the amount of times they've been locking it up. They're really on the edge here.
So that's a battle between Bridgestone and Dunlop there at the moment, the 2K Cup.
Yeah, so the Bridgestone guys came forward and we basically approached Mark and said, we want you to run this, see how it goes.
A tyre war in motorsport.
Yeah, we've got them. We've had a few different manufacturers go head-to-head over the years.
So there's another classic example of the different racing lines you can take going into turn 11, taking it really deep and then pull it back towards that apex.
Yeah, Graham will have a slightly different line being a rear-wheel drive car, whereas most of the cars in this class are front-wheel drive. So he's got some advantages there as he's looking at Warren, but he can't quite get the outside.
Mallard having a good look down the inside of turn 1. He set that up. That's been a real good place for people to pass, but now Gaines has got the game through to 2. He's got the inside line. Mallard will have it now for 3, but Gaines will pull it back for 4. And then he'll maintain that with 5, 6. And Mallard has to go, well, he's going to have a look down the inside of 5, decides to button off. Geddes and Howden have cleared off in front. Now Mallard's just lost a bit of ground, bit of drive coming out of 5, and suddenly Crowther's all over his bumper as they sweep into 7. He has a look, smokes it up, locks it up, pulls it back, regains control.
Yeah, definitely. Mark just doesn't quite have that drive out of the corners that the Dunlop drivers have got. So, but he can dive in, like he will not get out-braked. So it's good. Different characteristics.
So 16 minutes gone so far. Time to go 16. Halfway stage. And you would have been driving today?
I would have been driving. Unfortunately, my Altezza, it was making some funny smells on the way down, and then first lap out, it blew a head gasket. As Mark dives up the inside.
Yes, great move. He's done the switcheroony
He's
at the top. Then onto the grass. He's recovered. Gaines got onto the grass. But there's a classic example of the different lines up at turn 11, top of the track. Around the big hairpin. Out wide, ducked in. Now it's all about brakes coming into the complex. Up and over the ripples. 1, 2, 3. These guys are going to be slipstreaming and drafting all the way to the finish. The 2 Pack and Save cars. And the cream machine, number 8, Mark Mallard. Now let's see what they go into turn 1. This is where a lot of the guys, look at that, overcooking their braking going in there.
all 3 locking up.
Then they get the flow into 2. Rest of the field flowing in behind them as well. So we've got Woolmeyer Rooney, Enticott, Smith, Page, Lowndes, Bagnall, David Verrett, Whitlock, Michael Hoft. Ooh, one of them's gone a bit wide, going out of 3, got onto the dust. It's causing a bit of a problem as that pile of dust drifts across the track with that wind at the moment.
Yeah, the porous dirt here really does cause an issue when you got someone off. You can barely see through the cloud at all.
So that's going to be one of the features to watch out for the Castrol Toyota Racing Series. Time to go later on this afternoon. First race of 4 over the weekend at 1:30. Liam Lawson on pole for both races today. Which is going to be absolutely fantastic with that Kiwi battle and all the overseas stars, the cool cars, the young stars, TRS. Here's another little wee battle. Oh, another guy's locking it up. Now, Rooney's got the switch right onto the ripples. Good stuff. Good recovery. Locked it up, but he made the move.
Now it's a drag race down the back straight here.
Can he hold it, though? John Enticott, number 68. Here they are, side by side. Who's going to blink first? Rooney's got the inside line for the corner. Who's going to be bold under brakes? Smart driving, maintains it. The other guy had to yield.
Yes, it's one interesting thing with this class is how balanced the cars are when they've all got a couple of 100,000 Ks on the motor. You'd think there'd be a lot more difference, but it's surprisingly even.
Well, what is surprisingly even too is the fact that you've got a lot of guys out there driving for the first time, right? Good cheap motor racing, get in there. Actually, it's good racing. You know, they look very even on the track. Skill-wise, they all look like they know what they're doing. No one's out there denting the things and smashing and crashing and bashing. And especially the battle for the place in the podium here has been really good driving.
Yeah, one thing that maybe sets us apart from a few classes is before the season we did a couple of private track days at a few different tracks for our competitors to get out there and be around each other on a new track, but get familiar without the pressure of a race environment. We see that as a safety thing, giving people that chance to have a go when it doesn't really matter.
So this is what it's going to feel like when you get out there, and next time you'll do it for real. But in the meantime, get the feeling of it, understand it, enjoy it, embrace it, and you're ready for it.
And get used to one another, because everyone's got their different quirks when they're racing. Some people aren't that good at looking in their corners or what have you. But when guys are familiar with each other, they race to that. They know each other.
So number 28, further back down the field, we've got an Altezza.
Yeah, it's driven by Glenn Harrop. He's had a few rounds off to do some other stuff in life, which is the great thing. You can come and go with this class. There's no full commitment. And he's decided to join us at Taupo, and he's having a great time.
And then 969, Paul Stubbs. So here's a good battle going up towards the hairpin. We'll pick up the numbers of these cars. It looks like an old Honda.
Yeah, so that's a car driven by Matt O'Gorman, and the other name escapes my head, but yeah, they're a great bunch of guys. That's quite a unique car for the class because it's a bit older, so it's a bit hard to, so they've been around since the early days, but they're really hard cars to come by now, so probably not a 2K car. Oh, big spin into the second last corner, the police.
Oh, the police car.
Driven by Dave Verrett.
Cop that. The police car copped it big time.
And everyone's slowing up there, not even taking advantage of the situation, and we've got a nice single file resuming racing for the final corner.
So you reckon the copper might get fined?
we had
David Verrett might get a speeding fine for going too slow.
It's no secret we did have a big crash at the last round, and he was almost involved in it, and we had police turn up, and we were worried, you know, if there was a police car involved in a crash, and like, what would they think?
Well, he's all over he's under pressure at the moment.
Oh, but
and he's going to get contact. Oh, and they're muscling each other. We spoke too soon about good racing, because now the copper, he's copping it big time, but he's giving it back.
Yeah, we'll have to look at that after the race, which is another thing we do.
Tess has ducked down the inside at 5. Now it's all on. And Dave Rooney's had a spin another part of the track, number 27. So he's had a bit of an issue. So now all of a sudden, further back down the field, the police car started it, and now it's cops and robbers. Here we go. Shane Geddes still out in front though. 10 minutes out of the 33-minute race. What a great idea. So the cream guys, Geddes and Mallard, first and third at the moment. And then the pack and save boys. Now, the BMW's made a bit of a move as well. He's racing up the field.
Yeah, we've also got the 888 Creme Integra racing this weekend. That was actually a charity auction. Was raffled off, and he paid to race with us, and with the proceeds going to, we donated $2,000 to Westpac.
Fantastic.
Rescue helicopter.
So which car are we watching out for that one?
It's the black 888 Integra.
The black 888 Integra.
Just coming across turn 3 now.
Right. See if that works. That's good then. So there's the police car at the moment coming around the circuit.
Yeah, we've got a couple of groups have formed. Definitely a big group down the back there, led by the police car. The Tesla's just made a move up the, I think, Mike Coe of the white and yellow Integra. So that Alteza's looking like he's going to take on the police car soon.
Yeah. So they're really having a good little scrap.
He dives right up. Oh, not quite quick enough to pull that move off. But the Alteza is probably the car to have if you want to outbrake anyone. They're amazingly good under brakes.
Good strong motor too, the Alteza. So here is the police car. Who's that, Dave Barrett?
Dave Wright, yeah, the Alteza's driving around the outside there. He's managed to pull off a move that not too many can do there. Driving around the outside's pretty impressive.
So Dave Wright in the 444 car. And there's the Alteza down the inside, number 28. And he's nailed him going into the hairpin. Good move. Good. As you talked about with the braking, it's exactly where the Alteza nailed it, didn't it?
Yeah, the Achilles heel to the Alteza is just a little bit of straight line speed at the end of the straight. Doesn't seem to quite have that go. But they make up for it more than enough under brakes.
So race time, 25 minutes, so 7 minutes to go. And it's still Shane Geddes dominating, got out to the front after about 2 or 3 laps. Forced a couple of mistakes from some of the guys. Ducked down around turn 1. But there's scraps all further right down through the entire field. So there is Geddes. And Howden's, well, he's probably got about a good couple of seconds, almost a second, 2 second lead now. Doing a nice job and looking very smooth, isn't he?
Definitely. Geddes is just, I think, maintaining at this point. He doesn't have to prove too much. And if he can just keep to himself, he'll finish the race in first. Commentator's curse, there we go.
Well, you never know. You never know.
But definitely some battles going further down on the field.
Whole stack of cars down through into turn 7. The Alteza number 28, he's cleared off.
Here we got the 93 E36 driven by James Belbooth. He originally shared a car with James Whitlock, but both of them now run E36s along with Graham Ball. So we've got 3 of them.
And the 2 litres?
They're 2.5 litre. We had to give them a little bit more power. The German horsepower seemed to be a little bit overstated.
Okay.
So with the European cars, we're a bit more lenient, just because European cars generally, that ratio of weight to power doesn't seem to, they need a little bit more horsepower, basically, to be competitive.
Almost a touch there. They gave each other a bit of racing room and just pulled off around turn 11. Now the entry onto the big back straight.
Yeah, the E36, because it's got that 2.5 litre, is definitely the car to have out of the corner. He's looking to have the run on the Integra there as he makes the move down the back straight.
Well, the police guy seems to have recovered, isn't he? He's got back into the groove, number 444. Dave Verrett.
Right, yeah. Yeah, he actually contacted the New Zealand Police about having that livery.
I was about to ask about that.
And he said, am I allowed to do it? And the main thing was, it can't be reflective like a police car. So you can't see it at night. And he can never drive it on the road.
Right.
Which is fair enough, fair enough.
Did they say anything about his driving style?
I don't think that came into it. The main thing is they don't want anyone thinking it was an actual police car.
All right. So we got a little bit wide around 3, and he's opened up the door for the rest of the bunch to put them under pressure as they go into 4 and 5.
Yeah, James just feeling it out there. Oh, he scrubbed a little bit of speed on the exit though, so that'll mess him up for the next corner.
Classic corner by corner. You make one mistake, one corner, you're going to pay for it 3 or 4 down the line. The leader's still out in front. No change there. Geddes from Angus Howden. They've got a nice handy lead. That battle for 3rd, 4th and 5th continues. Mallard, Gaines, Gerlich.
Yeah, there's also
Waldmeyer now. Waldmeyer.
There's the flip side. We've got another race tomorrow, which is based off best lap times and then reversed for tomorrow. So setting a really fast lap time is just going to put you at the back grid tomorrow. So some of these guys will sort of be, it'll be half in their mind that they don't want to set, you know, the best time of the race because that'll hurt them tomorrow. Then again, they all do it, so they all end up down the back.
Yeah, you still want to be, you know, you still want to be the fastest out there, don't you?
Yeah, yeah.
Even if you don't win the race, you still want to be the fastest. That's your fallback line. A whack then a quick one. So a whole stack of, here comes the Beamer making a move. Police car holds them off.
It's not too often a police car's the one being chased down.
Yeah, and holding up the traffic. Could you move over into the slow lane, please? The people in the right lane would like to pass.
There's definitely a train of cars behind him. And that's one of the things, if you do make a mistake, there's 2 or 3 people happy to take your place.
So it's a fascinating concept, the 2K Cup, 30-minute race. And we've got about 3 minutes to go, 33-minute race. 3 minutes to go, coming up to race time, 29 minutes. And fantastic for entry-level motorsport to get out there, get your need for speed, get a petrol-head fix, a little bit of petrol-head paradise and 2 races over the weekend. There'll be a lot of fun, no doubt, with everyone having a bit of a chat afterwards.
Yeah, we're a somewhat reduced grid. Normally we'd have 80 or 90 cars here, but we don't want to take the show away from Toyota, obviously.
Well, other people have things to do over the January, February holiday period, don't they?
Yeah, so
like beaches.
This is probably the higher end of the class. So we won't have as many beginners. But when we're with our 2 fields, we basically have an entire field of beginners, so that you're ranked with someone of equal skill. So it's a lot less intimidating for someone trying to get involved.
Which is good too, makes a good sense.
Yeah.
So the question is, can Shane Geddes hold on? His best lap was a 1:51.3 on lap 8. So he's been pretty steady. Last lap was a 1:52. And good handy lead of about 1.2 seconds. He's maintained that advantage. Police car once again, coming under all sorts of pressure from the BMW.
I've just got a Facebook message from Graham Ball, who says he's got his mate Trevor in the car at the moment. So
Trev. Trev's having a ball.
Trev has, yeah.
While Graham's getting ready for the BMW. Oh, more smoking up, locking up the tyres going into turn 11. Race time, 31 minutes and 33 seconds. So possibly the last lap when they come round again. Looks like Geddes is coming down into the complex. The battle for 3rd, 4th and 5th continues between Mallard, Gerlich and Waldmeyer. Police car just can't get past number 93. Oh no, he's got it, the BMW. He's got the drive out of 5 through 6. And he's going to be able to nail it down into 7. Yes, he finally manages to put the squeeze on the copper.
Yeah, good clean pass there, and he's waited a solid 5 or 6 laps to pull that move. So the long race allows you to sort of work on that.
Which is what you talked a bit about, was easing into it and then, you know, getting behind a guy, seeing what sort of racing lines he's doing, and then make your move and try and make it stick. So at the moment, it's he's coming under all sorts of pressures now.
Yeah, the car's definitely got attitude on the entry there. People trying to make the moves in the last lap or two got to go.
So the leaders, there's Geddes coming out of turn 7 through to 8. Howden's behind him, and there's a gap back to the next 3 led by Mark Mallard. Then it's Gerlich and Goldmeyer. And this should be the last lap because we're sitting on 33 minutes as we speak. And they're standing by with the checkered flag, so Shane Geddes on the track for a win of the 2K Cup. Good way to start the weekend, do a bit of motor racing. Good sort of time too, in about 33 minutes. Get out there and
it's the optimal time for not being flogged when you finish the race, but feeling like you gave it your all. Yeah,
without then getting too tired and too drained and then having brain fade.
Yeah, after about an hour you start getting the brain fade.
Little brain fade. So number 343, Shane Geddes, doing a superb job. He grabbed the lead, set the quickest lap. Now he's about to take the checkered flag and wrap up the 2K Cup. Second's going to be Angus Howden and Mark Mallard all under pressure. And he's going to be able to come across the start-finish line now. It's going to be an absolute drag. And Mallard will hold on to take 3rd place from the Flying Lance. Trevor Baldmeyer, the BMW, Carl Gaines eventually dropped back amongst the field. Here's 3 cars coming into the complex. And they just held on to it. Good stuff, good racing. Phil Page, John Endicott. And number 67, Phil Page, will come across the line. That's going to be in front of Nick Lowndes and John Endicott. And it's Paul Smith. Should be...
And be James Whitlock.
James Whitlock. And Dave Rooney, who started on pole. 777 goes past the finish line with Dan Bagnall. So now they all just sit back and talk about it, and then they come back and do what, the same thing again tomorrow?
Yeah, we're going to have a big barbecue. That's another thing we always do after lunch. Yeah, and then tomorrow we'll do it all again.
All right, well, thank you very much, James Watson. And stick around because it is lunchtime, and we'll take a break for about 40 minutes on the track. In the meantime, you'll see the Lexus lunchtime break. And they'll have the hot laps, the Lexus lunchtime rides. So they'll be out and about around about 20 minutes time. And we'll be back racing around about an hour's time, just after 1 o'clock. So sit back and enjoy yourself. Get yourself some lunch here trackside at Bruce McLaren Motorsport Park and the Speedworks Motorsport Championship.